tell a lot of you. Sorry,
she want that old thing back. Turn me up the headphones. Turn me up. Yeah. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. Yeah, it's peace king when you see me in the street. Proper greeting to not acknowledge a light being. It's not the season, no ego. Clearly the leader of the people. Vision like Calico. This for my amigos. Leaning on that window of that Rego. I'm praying that one day he gonna be free though. They ran up in the crib while he's peeking through the peephole. Never thought it would be divine evil. Creeping with that heat close. They say I walk around like I got an S on my chest. Now that's a gold-plated no baguettes on my chest. Like a movie, words got special effects. An old school G used to bump Rex and effects. And the Fugees, youngins, know that I'm next. I pump knowledge to the streets so they showing respect. Cause I did it without the fraudulent stories about me blowing a tech. I let the Most High order my steps. Feel me? You gotta know what time it is, man. It's the age of Aquarius. Each one teach one. That's what it is. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. The quarterback need protection from the lineman for the yards. Hey, more makers in alignment with the stars. Too many MCs lying in your bars. And you wonder why they ain't buying your records. Like, oh, keep firing cause he won't keep silent about police violence. Keeping both he's firing for the weak and dying. No need for sirens. Third eye islands open and vibrant. Jamal Milton shining. Hard to watch a young king get killed and he died over cigarettes. Shit. Steady talking about you real, you ain't let your gat pale for that nigga yet. Shit. And even if we chop the bag off, you probably front like, nah, I need a bigger check. But I just seen you on the internet talking about you been a threat. We sick of that. You know what I mean? You gotta first come up, destroy to rebuild. You dig what I'm saying? Like, you know, you gotta teach the young generation, you know? They don't even know how to speak in the street, you know what I mean? We gotta do what we gotta do. There you go. I share. Peace to the gods, I share. Peace to the earths, I share. Peace king. Peace to the kings, I share. Peace queen. Peace to the queens, I share. Come on. It don't stop. That's hip hop. It don't stop. It don't stop. It don't stop.
What's happening, everybody? It's your main man, Mr. X. Your brother is here. Yeah, Jan in my pocket. Giving you what you want to give you what you need. Black Eye Fire Network. X Sports for Revolutionaries. I like to have that little bit of info disseminated as I start my show. As you know, I come back. I've been out for a little while. I have to take these breaks. I'm like an independent contractor. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're still them people that call, man, they work when they want to. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You work a 9 to 5. You don't work the 40 hours a week. You just get in when you fit in. I'm one of those people. You know what I'm saying? Work 5, 10 hours. Hey, man, people put in 80 hours. Shouts out to you. Put in that 80 hours of work. With your brother, Mr. X, I'm about 5'6". I'm so spread out, man. I'm so spread out. And actually, I'm comfortable that way. I'm comfortable that way. Moving different places, doing different things. You know what I'm saying? And about to throw the hat in the political realm in terms of advisement. And I call my brother to set that up so that I can get that popping within a week or so and see, exactly what can be done. You know what I mean? Because I certainly want to assist. So a lot of stuff is going on here locally, as it is every year. And you try to pick your spots, man. When you in this movement, like you say, you pick your spots. If you don't pick your spots, bro, that should rip you apart. You know what I mean? That's why we got people out here cooning now. I mean, my brother was just having a discussion about people who were black revolutionaries turned coons. And we see that a lot in the movement. I see brothers who was in the Nation of Islam hard body and Black Power and selling bean pies and Muhammad speaks, call the white man the devil. Now they Christians eating pork sandwiches and sleeping with white women. So that change can happen almost immediately if you aren't careful. You know what I'm saying? And doing these shows is exhausting. Shout out to them brothers that do shows every day, be talking for 4 hours. Shout out to you. I went to school for radio and television, new school radio television here in Albany, New York. And I would do them shows. The days I had school every day, and it was a very small class period, very small class, like 3 or 4 of us, and they wanted to be in radio, but they were shy. So I would do radio shows with music, a little back and forth banner. Then I would go do my sports show because I let them know, I'm like, man, I don't really want to do this. I'm really in 100% sports. But if you got this on the curriculum, you know what I mean, and she want to do it and she need me to bounce off, I do it. We can do 25, 30 minutes and I'll get it in or whatever like that so that she can have a different personality because it's like banter. That's all it is. You know what I mean? They going back and forth. They all bubbly and shit. Ain't nobody ever in a bad mood. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I could do this, but it's to me, it's cooning. Like if you black doing that shit, it's just all it is just the music and what the artist is doing. Everything you gotta get in everything. You Google search real quick what they doing and stuff like that, and then you may deal with something on Twitter. Because back then there wasn't no Twitter. Or I believe it was. It was just starting. Yeah, it was. It was, but it was just starting. I thought it was gonna be a novelty, like it was gonna be here, then it was gonna be gone. I ain't had no idea that social media was gonna build up to what it is now. And so they were dealing with tweets and everything. Everybody was pushing this thing. So I ain't really care. I'm like, I ain't got no Twitter account. I don't got one now. You know. So we would do it, and I just, all right, cool. Okay. All right, what artist is doing what now? You heard we got arrested? Yeah, he got arrested for what? Oh, he got shot, but he shot somebody else, and he got arrested. And the other person he got arrested, they got away. Oh man, that's just messed up. Oh, here's the next song by Peaches and Herb. Next, and keep doing that. I'm like, I want to deal with sports. And so to come up with this show here, Export Sports Revolutionaries, obviously merging the sports jargon and discussion with Black revolution, Black consciousness, elevated thinking, so on and so forth, higher vibrations, and break it into the freedom struggle because we've been struggling for a long time, y'all. This freedom struggle been popping off for a long time. This is like the party that won't end. You know what I'm saying? This is literally like the party that won't end. And people looking around like, well, the rule states that whoever is here at the party when the shit ends, they got to clean up. Don't nobody want to clean up unless you see a little youngin, if you're a brother, if you see a little youngin, a little sweetie, a little cutie, that's gonna help with the cleanup, then you like, hell, I clean up so I can get some more time rapping in her ear. Because the outfit she got on, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you an insight inside the brother's thing. But other than that, nah, I ain't staying. I'm out. And that's what this Black liberation thing feel like. It's just like an ongoing party. And as long as the music playing, brothers is still dancing, we still got a chance. But when they stop that music and you look around the dance floor, ain't no more black people. Yeah, we pretty much lost. We exterminated. So I'm still out there dancing. I'm doing my thing. I want y'all to pray for me, pray for my family, that my cousin, one of those, cousins that you share shoes with and clothes with and everything else. Um, he just passed. Uh, Actually, a few weeks ago, we finally was able to put him to rest, as it was just a whole bunch of mess. He was murdered by a crazy girlfriend, but we're still trying to get all the information on that. And so the service was yesterday, and it was a great service. It was everything I thought it would be because my cousin was as hood as it was gets, and I'm a little bougie, but I'm in and around the hood all the time, and so you have to have that be that representation of hood, consciousness, and intellectualism all at the same time. That's how you pull your people out of the muck and mire. You find out the angle that you can move on, and you build on that so that you don't lose them. You know what I'm saying? Khalid Muhammad was a master at that. So was Malcolm X, and so we invoke those people, but we don't do their work. And so I went up there and spoke and throw it just a half percentage of consciousness in because it's really about my cousin and honoring him. And not a lot of people knew me because, uh, like I said, I was that cousin that was with him day in and day out when we were young. At about 12, we separated and we basically seen each other. I want to say a handful of times. After there was one summer I came here and we was hanging like old times. But then after that, I could tell it was like, yeah, we moving in different circles. You know what I'm saying? Because you doing your thing, and I'm at the basketball court every day. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like, all right, he went up the street and I went down. Well, I went up the street, he went down the street, off in two different paths. And it was unfortunate because you outgrow people and you gotta leave them where they at. You know what I'm saying? It's just you connect with them here and there, but again, your interest ain't their interest, and their interest ain't your interest. You know what I mean? And uh, I said at the funeral that I wish that maybe I had dealt with him a little bit more, changed information because I had his number for a while. I used to look at it almost every day, but it was like I could foresee this happening. Like he was going to die, and I wish maybe that I should have spent more time. You always feel that way when you have loss. You know what I mean? You like, damn, man, I should have. You start hitting that guilt thing, bro, and it's tough. You know what I'm saying? So we just laid him to rest yesterday, and when you have murders, and he took a face shot right through the eye, dead on impact. So when they gotta fix your now cadaver, your dead body, they may put other pieces in there and paper and all this other stuff, man. So it don't even look like you. So I didn't get a full on facial. I just got his picture in my mind and I seen the back of his head, but I didn't really want to, look at him like that because I don't want to I didn't want to have that image. You know what I mean? There's so many RPIs that we doing, you dig, and it gets to be too much. And people were really hurting there. And then again, you got the Negro element that's there that is like, yo, turn up, we're gonna have fun and all this stuff and joking and laughing like a classroom. And we gotta know we got stunning growth in those hoods. It's stunning growth in there. You know what I mean? So people are stuck, right? They're stuck in ninth grade, they're stuck in 12th grade, wherever high school grade did they finish, whether they graduated or not. Because if we don't grow down, we grow up physically. We talk about the mind and the body. The master keeps the mind, and you keep your body. So that goes with all our people. And you are a slave one way or another. Whatever is your occupation that the master make for you, that's your occupation. So to be ignorant and disdainful, then that's your occupation. Because it's detrimental to African society. If it's detrimental to African society, then you're doing your job. And so there was, kind of talking while other people was talking, and just little stuff like that. But I don't want to, make that the whole thing about the funeral. I was just happy to see some people I hadn't seen in a long time. And that's usually how it goes. You don't see people for years. I seen people I ain't seen in years at the funeral. I was just happy and blessed to see him. His father spoke and talked. Peace, 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 dear brother. Um, His father talked like he was good. I can rest. He kept saying I can rest now. He has the brother has, quite a few children and they had all grown up and he kept telling his son, like, listen, I need you to get all my children together. Basically what he was saying. So I can see them. You know what I mean? I just want to see him because that's the urge. And maybe that's the Lord telling me, you need to see your children one last time because I'm about to take you. And so he kept saying, I'm about to rest. I'm about to rest. And when you lose a child, right, the first child that's lost, the parents are burying the child, and we all know the child's supposed to bury the parents. And when you got a large family, you got a large amount of deaths, especially if you 9 people in, you got your parents and 7 siblings, and you the youngest. That's about nine, what, 8, 9 funerals. My mother done went to her and my between her and my father, they probably went to probably 200, 300 funerals. Imagine the psych job that does to somebody. But this is just a warm up discussion as I get to the topic at hand. Our dear brother, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, the GOAT, you can say, in the boxing realm in the world, has gone on to the goon, brothers and sisters. He's moved on to be with the ancestors at age 66. Young and powerful brother from New Jersey, one of the toughest cities for blacks in the world. He came out as a gritty, well, I mean, I remember they would do the comparisons between him and Sugar Ray Leonard because that was the golden era of boxing. Like Ali left, and it's like, all right, whom we got next? And guys picked up the motherfucking mantle like you wouldn't believe. So Ali's done at about 77. I think that's when he won that title back from piece to the other champ. What the hell is his name? Uh, oh man, him and his brother had the championship. Larry Holmes had whipped both of them. Actually, no, Leon Spinks. He whipped Leon Spinks, and Michael Spinks beat him twice, controversially. All right, and so Leon beat Muhammad Ali. Ali did the rematch, won his belt back, then retired. And so that was basically the end of the Ali era. He ended on top. Then they brought him back because money. He always needed money. He didn't necessarily have to do that. He could have done a bunch of other things to make money, but it was nothing faster than that boxing because Don King would come to him with cases of cash. Like, yo, we got this fight. Come on, fight Larry Holmes. You can beat him, champ. You can beat him. Take this money. Boom, briefcase of money right there. Boom, that was his way. That's how he became the quote unquote great promoter that he is. All the great champions in the last 30, 40 years was up under him because that was his technique. He would come with cash money. Briefcase. Here, take this money. You ain't got to wait on no check. You ain't wait for the cash money right here in your hand. And they got every aging boxer at the end of their career wore out, living off their name to fight some young stallion for big money. Damn near get him killed. Everybody. And he got Ali back there with Holmes, and Holmes beat the living hell out of him. But anyway, you go into the 80s era, dominated by Holmes. Then you slide into as he's dominating, Mike Tyson is coming up the ranks. Then you got Sugar Ray, you got Thomas Hearns, you got, Duran, you got all these greats coming up in the 80s. I mean, that was the gold. And then you go into the 90s as well. So boxing was killing it for a long time. And Marvin was the star of that era. See, that's controversial, brother, in terms of the shot because, I'll get to that, and I'll get to my conjecture on that. But going up to Marvin Hagler's time in the ring, being one of the best middleweights to ever do it, he stayed in that division. Most guys move up and down because they whip all the challenges, and they got someone who, if you lightweight like Ray Leonard, they're like, yo, that'd be a great matchup because welterweights usually, as they get older, move up to middleweight. So that's another 15, 20 pounds, which is a lot. But they make you think it's just nothing, just gain this little bit of weight and you be all right. And you move up and you can fight with you coming. But like, nah, you a natural welterweight. So now you moving up to somebody's natural size weight. And Leonard was a slick motherfucker. Sugar Ray Leonard was a sneaky motherfucker. He understood imagery because he wasn't Ali, but he came up differently than Hagler. And I was gonna make that point. See, uh, uh, he had investors, a group that he signed with, and this is why the Lakers are so good at getting superstars because the things that they're aligning. You in Hollywood, you know what I'm saying? So you where all the gatekeepers at. The Lakers owners, all Hollywood, they're all intertwined. So you come in with the contract, that's part of the contract. Yo, what else you want? Look, we got a couple movies, we got some sitcoms. Down the line, we got this, that, we got commercials, we got all that. If you sign with us. You see what I'm saying? So this is what they got. So Sugar Ray Leonard had that. So he can go to he had so now you can promote him as the next big champion. Oh, he fight like Muhammad Ali. Oh, here's the pictures with him and Ali. He got this wonderful smile, got the big fro, you know what I mean? The little slow talking style, you know what I mean? All this stuff they can market. So they marketed him. And so because they marketed him and he had proper representation, he could demand more money and bigger fights. So he went through the Olympics and won and had that fanfare. So when you come out and you win the Olympics, you win that gold medal, you come out, you the man. You the man, you top ranked. So you can get that big money quick. Meanwhile, Marvin Hagler is coming up like Clubber Lang. Marvin, like this is the story of Apollo Creed and motherfucking Clubber Lang. Like Marvin Harrison. I keep getting my Marvin's, which the Marvin Hagler coming up through New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? And he 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 in the city where the motherfucking riots popped off in '67. You know what I mean? People was killed, property was damaged, all that shit. So he coming as rough and raw and rugged, and he going through the amateur ranks. You dig? He coming through the amateur ranks, boxing street cats and you know what I'm saying? All all sorts of shit. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys that had to box to earn a living. It's one of those guys that you got to rage, you got to anger, you're in a system of white supremacy. You're destitute of resources. You don't eat. You can barely sleep. You hear gunshots. People getting raped. People getting mugged. You avoiding things walking down the street. You got to turn your head because you witnessed something, and you got to see the brother see you, and you got to act like you ain't seen nothing, and get hurried to your home and hope he don't come looking for you. That's the type of environment he was in, and so you had to knuckle up. You had to get respect. So that's where Hagler came from. So he had that raw, rugged, rough. Yo, I'm gonna lie about my age so I can fight with the amateurs because I need this money now. And people say I got a future, so I'm gonna do this. And so when he was fighting, he was making pennies, pennies. And so he had to fight himself the same way with Larry Holmes. See, when you don't get to that Olympic circuit, when you start fighting your professional career, there's no real fanfare, there's no real promotion, there's no real marketing, because they set these guys up. And there's documentaries on this. They talk about with Tyson. They did it with all champions. They want you to be a future champion. They give you has-beens. You know what I mean? You training because you got financial sponsorship. You know what I'm saying? People put money in your pocket. You got a trainer that's being paid. You being comped right now, but then as the big money rolling in, they're gonna start hitting you with them bills. But they're gonna make it so that you get there. So they setting up your fights so that you can show your talents. They're not gonna have somebody fighting the same style you fight, right? They're gonna get you a bruiser who can't really take a punch like that. He got some ring experience, but there's so many boxers in the world, bro. Everybody record is like 35-2. You can find somebody that's 35-2, so the records match up real well. Your first couple fights, this guy is 7-3 with 4 knockouts. He done fought 4 dudes off the bar stools and shit that don't train. They'll call him. They're like, all right, we got an April 16th boxing match. This is open, right? You've been training hard for 4 months. They call somebody on April 5th. Hey man, you want to fight? On the 15th, we got a slot open for you. Oh yeah, sure, sure. Let me get off work and I'll call you back. You see what I'm saying? So he come in, ain't trained in 5 months, been working overtime and all that, trying to get gym time, save up money for gym time. Leonard ain't got to worry about that. He coming to the fight. Leonard is whooping his ass with the 12 hit combos and shit, looking great, knock him out in the second round. And they give you fight after fight like that. So you can build your record up 12, 13, 14 and 0, 9 knockouts. They wanted something real good, the average percentage and all that shit real good. They did that to Hagler and all these guys who are future champions. I ain't see Hagler as a future champion, but then you start whipping ass the way you need to whip ass, you're going to force them to talk about you. Like, yo, this dude cannot be denied. He cannot be denied. And so he won all the big fights. I mean, he whooped Thomas Hearns' ass. When he fought Thomas Hearns, it's like they got the same type of fighting style, straight ahead. I'm going to land big blows. Thomas, the Hitman Hearns, is known for his big punching. You know what I'm saying? So, so when you got two guys that got an exciting style and they're big names, icons, it's beautiful. That's why, like, people get at Mayweather because if you look at his fight chart, honestly, it's not bad when you compare his fight chart to the greats and the people he fought on some list. He's strategic. The man is deviantly a genius in regards to when he fights his opponents. You don't fight Pacquiao when he's decimating the division and knocking everybody out. You fight him 5 years afterwards. When a run finally stopped and he been put to sleep, then he lose another close match. Now I'm gonna fight him. Now I'm gonna fight him. You see what I'm saying? You fight young guys who's tearing up the league, tearing up the league down the division, but don't have enough ring experience. So you get in there and you school their ass. You know what I'm saying? But still, the name is big. He would retire, come back, fight a motherfucker, 33-0, 30 knockouts. Oh, Mayweather, he can't beat him. He can't beat. Nah, I'm retired. I'm retired. Just like Jay-Z. I'm retired. I'm good. It's cool. Meanwhile, you know he in the gym. Everybody who's been around a Floyd Mayweather has the same motherfucking story, just like Kobe Bryant. Be out partying, 1 in the morning. Be like, yo, we going to the gym. Everything stops. Get in the car, going to the gym. So he never not trained. You never seen him fat and overweight. No, Ali would stop and Ali would stop. Ali would stop, get fat, lay home, stop. George Foreman, Lord have mercy. Stop, got fat. All right, I'm gonna come back. Got to build from the ground up. Got to start all over again. Never with Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? So you look at that fight to go back to the Leonard and Hagler fight. Leonard was getting ready for the fight. Took 3 years off. At the banquet, said it'll be a great fight if Leonard versus Hagler, but it'll never happen. 3 years go past. And that's what I mean. Leonard, you look at his fight chart, he didn't fight but 37, 30 times, same as Joe Frazier. He got in, got out. Like, nah, I ain't finna get knocked out, man. I'm gonna be alive longer without boxing than with boxing. So I want to make sure I can be in movies. It's pretty smile, can do other things. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna live off boxing as Ali did, and that's smart. You just see what Muhammad Ali did in that ring, taking punishment and I believe getting poisoned. But because he was so boisterous and outspoken, they had to silence him. You know what I mean? White folks choose their way how they gonna destroy you. You know what I mean? And so he like, all right, I'm sitting here wait for the weeds, and Marvin Hagler was going through a tough time in his life, and he actually confided in Ray Leonard that as like it's not the same, and I'm kind of losing interest, and stuff was getting real bad. So he was like, yo, now I'm gonna fight him because he kept saying no, kept saying no, kept saying no, and he said, why his mind is kind of off, and he not at his best. This is the time to fight him. And so he fought him, and then controversially, you could say he won. You know what I mean? But it's like a brother came back, 3 years old. This is Ali Frazier again. He building just like Ali Frazier, except Sugar Ray Leonard ain't never stand for no nothing. So he didn't give up his belt for the greater good of the people. The Vietnamese at that time were our brothers and acting as cohorts in the revolutionary struggle over in Vietnam and working with Robert F. Williams rather closely. You know what I mean? And speaking up for the black cause and the black struggle, and and sparing the lives of black soldiers, and collaborating with the black U.S. soldiers to kill white U.S. soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't going on with Sugar Ray Leonard. He just quit. You know what I mean? He ain't get involved in none of that shit. But he wanted the same magnitude as Ali Frazier. So he stopped 3 years, get me a little tune-up bout, okay? Then now I'm ready for Marvin Hagler. And it's like, no, you're not, nigga. You're not ready for Marvin Hagler. You need a couple fights. But you gotta strike where the iron's hot. So you get the tune-up fight, you look good in the tune-up fight, then give it to Marvin Hagler. You know what I'm saying? This is with interest. You get too many fights, something else may happen. He may hurt you, you may hurt him. Something he may quit. You know, you just want to get to it while the interest is there. But Hagler is feeling some type of way about his whole damn life. So Ray Leonard took this as an opportunity to fight him. And so what he did was he had a lot of fights on the low with referees, judges, and everything, preparing for Marvin Hagler. And this is something I learned from actually The Rock. Remember I did Nation of Domination. The Rock, you know, if you follow wrestling, and I know the group does, because we talked about it a few times, The Rock had them long layoffs. And then he had fought or wrestled, I'm gonna say fought, wrestled um, John Cena, and I want to say 2013. And so he had no matches. They announced it at WrestleMania such and such the previous year, and so it was a whole year build up for the next WrestleMania. So no one saw The Rock in the ring, and so they got to build it up like The Rock ain't been in the ring since 2001 or some shit like that. So you build up the interest because it's like Jordan. Jordan ain't played 93 and now he playing in 95 as a new crop of stars and he ain't played no NBA games. What he gonna look like? You know what I mean? So everybody's like, yo, what is gonna look? And that's the interest because that means money. Interest means money. Now, on real time though, on the low, Rock is in the ring, wrestling, exhibitions, getting his ring rust out, trying different moves and all that shit. Because they choreograph all that shit. It's basically, wrestling. We talk about wrestling, you know what I mean? Like the injuries are real, but the matches are fixed. And it's like watching opera. And it's pretty cool. I like to see how if two guys can have a good match and people are setting up the moves right, if you're recognizing cues, you know what I'm saying, doing reverses at the right time, putting the crowd into the match, make it suspenseful. You know what I'm saying? How they 1, 2, do we pull up to 3? Is it do guys start off when they try to get the quick pin and you jump out and you flip him? You know what I'm saying? Them Bret Hart style matches and shit like that. You watch them old Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels joints. Oh, they was masterful. Okay, get in bed. So they was uh as far as them really fighting, my brother, it's fake. Like they ain't getting in there and really just doing it. It's a match. It's scripted pretty much. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a play. I mean, I don't really give a damn, but I just enjoy the artistry of it. I actually. But in any case, um, this is what Leonard was doing. To get back to Leonard, he was having secret matches and getting himself right. So when he fought Hagler, he wanted to make a bigger rim, a bigger ring, so that he can move in circle, do his shuffle and shit, still Ali style and everything, steal rounds. Like that. He had a whole game plan. Had a whole fucking game plan. He was like, "Listen, nigga, I'm ready. You hear me? You ain't finna get me in this ring and kick my ass, and me not having, some type of motherfucking strategy to beat your ass. I'm gonna beat you." You know, the hell with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, nigga, you ain't, So he got 10-ounce gloves, and he fought 12 rounds as opposed to 15 rounds. Because guys kind of like, and they have a computer in their mind. And Hagler had the largest knockout percentage. But even still, having been undefeated to this point, if it went 15, he was still undefeated too. So it didn't matter. Like Marvin Hagler was invincible at that time, man. He was just, you know, whatever. Him and Larry Holmes stormed through the divisions, their respective divisions, whipping everybody's ass. And it was really like, you know, when you undefeated, it's like, where can I trace you? Kind of like, you know, if I analyze every one of your fights, and certain fights were close, is there a weakness there? And so he felt, all right, if after 12 rounds, I think I can get him, because them last 3 rounds, he turned up. He go into the bowels of his existence and pull out some shit only great ones got. And I ain't got that. So I'm gonna go 12. So his brain computer is gonna say I got three more rounds, when the reality is the last round. You see, that's how good Sugar Ray is. Sugar Ray was a bad motherfucker. Sugar Ray was a bad motherfucker. Okay. Right, brother. Right. So um they getting them, you know, they getting about and everything, and Leonard's stealing mounds, and he's looking, you know, fantastic, and he's moving around, and he don't want to get to too many exchanges. He don't want to make the mistakes that Thomas Hearns made. Thomas Hearns is slaughtering and slabbing and banging with Hagler, and Hearns moved up. So yeah, Tommy looked good with the extra weight, but this is Marvin Harrison's division. Marvin Harrison again. Marvin Hagler's division. You came up to middleweight and you fighting his fight. No, my nigga. You would do that if he came down to welterweight, but Marvin was always the challenger. He was the name. So it's like, nah, I'm the champ, nigga. You coming up here. I'm not losing weight to fight you. You know what I'm saying? You coming up to me. Nigga, don't go down. Part of the game is that. It's dangerous too. So we whip his ass. And then, like I said, he fought Leonard. And like I said, it was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you know, Hagler with his southpaw style would switch. He could switch back and forth. You know, and that would throw somebody. You know, your lead right becomes a jab. Your lead left becomes a jab. And now you don't know which punch is coming, even though he can switch his stance. So he got the stance, a southpaw stance, and he switched to orthodox. Then he switched back. Roy Jones was good at that. He could switch back and forth between stances and stuff, just to give you something different, just to see if something else was there. So now he pawing at you with his right hand and coming with the left down the pipe. You know, Manny Pacquiao's a southpaw, and he that was his what you would call orthodox stance, and he would knock people out with that straight left hand, just right down the boom. And because he was so fast, he wasn't really a jabber. He was a combo puncher, Pac-Man, with amazing strength, because you know, these Filipinos is bottom heavy. I ref the basketball league of Filipinos, the Filipino basketball league. I'm telling you, people come here with their culture intact, bro. They dead ass had a Filipino basketball league. The worst basketball players you can ever find is Filipino, but damn it, they had a league, and they paid good too. Them Filipinos paid good. I think $45 a game. Maybe it was more than that. They paid good, but they were terrible. They had a lot of energy. They hustled a lot, but they were terrible. But they was all Filipino. Got jerseys and everything. Had their kids in there, their wives. Everybody had a wife. Everybody had kids. You know what I mean? It wasn't a problem. It wasn't a problem at all. You got wives in there with children, and you know, when black folk niggas, shit. You hear me? It's craziness in there. But they would score like a team would score, and everybody would cheer. Because it's like our culture isn't centered around basketball and competition. We're just doing this for connectivity, for love of one another. This is not, you know, vicious in any way. No one's getting in any types of fights. There's some aggressive. There's some guys that get fouled hard, and they'll laugh because it was probably his uncle. And I sat there in amazement. They gave me no problems at all. And even if they challenged some calls, it was funny because it was kind of broken English and shit. I sat there watching amazement. I'm like, damn, I could do this all day long. I can't barely ref my people 2 games. That's it. I got to go. These motherfuckers is crazy. Everything is contingent on sports with us. But anyway, Pac-Man's strength. You see all these dudes, big ass, strong calves, hairy calves, and he punched from the, you know what I mean? He punched from the bottom. Boom. Goodbye. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. And Hitman can hit. All them times Hitman hurts. But you're coming up to middleweight, you know. Yeah, you got welterweight, super welterweight, and then you got middleweight. And so there's a change there. And you're going into somebody else's division who's dominating. So he got dominated. But anyway, Leonard won the fight. I'm not sure who the other losses of Hagler was. Like I said, I'm not what you call a huge fan of him. But I do know he was great. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest fight obviously was with the uh, Sugar Ray Leonard, and you know, um, let's see. No, he had lost before. Did he lose before that? Get out of here. Yeah, yeah. Okay. He lost to two unknowns. So he was what was he? 62-2 going in the Sugar Ray Leonard matchup, and you can figure that he had not lost, but he went 25-0, then lost, then lost 2 out of 3, and then went on that amazing run from 26 wins to 62 wins. Then finally lost to Sugar Ray Leonard, and that was his last fight. And they kept trying to get a rematch with those two with big money, but you know, um, Marvin was going through some things personally, and you got to watch those documentaries to really deal with that. I seen one about him a while ago, and I'm trying to recall exactly, the issues of it. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't have a very good childhood, as most of our brothers do, who will come through greatness in boxing, especially most notably Mike Tyson and the things he went through. He was known here in Albany, actually. He had dated a cousin of mine who died, unfortunately, of HIV. And, you know, he ran these streets up here. He was a kid. He was a kid. So he's like any other kid around here, but just the size of a truck, a 19-year-old truck. You know what I mean? And you've been around 19-year-olds, and you know how young acting they are, but they have the size of a man, but the mind of a child. Even though he had a very good vocabulary, that's spending that time with the white folks. Huh? White folks get you reading, make you sound intelligent, right? But you listen to his interviews. Listen to Mike Tyson's interviews. Like, damn, resoundingly astute in his observations of boxing and boxing technique and where he stands in the boxing world. And he was very confident in himself. But Marvin wasn't that guy. Marvin never really learned to talk. And Marvin was kind of like with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali used to joke about comparing his discussions and his auditory with other athletes and other boxers. It was 20 times better. You really couldn't have a discussion with other boxers because talking wasn't what they were good at. Boxing, what they was good at, knocking motherfuckers out. So they felt very uncomfortable talking to guys. So he would lace Joe Frazier verbally, and Joe didn't have the tools to respond back. And so when he did try to say something, it was just like, probably shouldn't have said nothing, and it turned Muhammad Ali up, and he go even more. He go even further. Hello, Gorilla. This is Manila. Hello, Gorilla. You know what I'm saying? You have to look that up, brother. I think type up his name. It might have been one of the ESPN documentaries where they would do it on athletes. And I think it might have been him, his particular documentary, or a duo because I know Leonard and him are kind of connected. And sometimes in one's documentary, you will have like the Biggie movie and a Tupac movie. The Biggie movie got more Tupac in it than the Tupac movie got Biggie in it. You know what I'm saying? So them documentaries will do that sometimes. They'll talk about It'd be based on one particular boxer, and then that huge fight that they had, the Zaire fight. They'll have Foreman there, and they'll talk 5 or 10 minutes about that fight, and they'll take maybe 20% of the damn documentary. But in George Foreman's documentary, it may not be that much. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's I said that to say that I think it is Marvin Hagler's own ESPN documentary where it talked about him and Sugar Ray talks about the things I said. He said, I mean, he just let it out. I mean, this motherfucker was deep. He was like the Isaiah Thomas of boxing. I mean, you measure him and Isaiah Thomas, they look like they brothers. The same type of personality and mentality. Win by all costs and do it with a smile on your face so people don't assume you're doing what you're doing. By the time they figure it out, nigga, you done retired and shit, done got $50 million and and endorsements and dealings and business and land and property and then on tops of fights and you got a little treasure chest, you know what I'm saying? You got your heavyweight, you got your not your heavyweight, but your title belts and everything in a little trophy room. You chilling. Then hell, I tell the documentary, I tell you what I was, the nigga was feeling bad. He confided in me as a brother that he wasn't feeling too good and that he wanted to quit and was hanging on barely with life. And the first thing I thought, nigga, was I fight him. I don't want to fight a motivated Marvin Hagler who has been on a tear of what 42 straight wins or 44. I don't want no parts of that. I want the motherfucker that's kind of like, I think I'm good, man. Okay, cool. Now I fight him. Come on, Marvin, where you at? And then they come right back. Oh yeah, I'm ready to fight. Let's go. But you already plateaued. You already let me know psychologically you're not into this fight the way you need to be. And that you high on that horse, you high on that hog, you've been dominating for so long. Marvin Hagler with the win, Marvin Hagler with the win, Marvin Hagler with the win. Now, is he the greatest middleweight? You know who else was a middleweight? We got to deal with the greatness of that division. Roy Jones Jr. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 20. Roy Jones Jr. was a middleweight. And so even though he finished his career shit at heavyweight, fighting Mike Tyson in an exhibition, and he said he got a couple more fights in him, and I really want you niggas to retire, please, for the love of God, retire. Roy Jones Jr. might have to put in bid for the greatest middleweight. Look at that fight Roy Jones had with damn, let me get my fucking phone, man. This is some bullshit. I hate that. I hate when I can't recall stuff. Hold on. Vinny Ponzienza. Jones Jr. versus Ponzienza. And Ponzienza came up from lightweight to fight middleweight. That's a hell of a fucking jump. He went from lightweight and jumped up to middleweight to fight Roy Jones. And holy shit, Roy Jones beat the brakes off this boy. I mean, it looked like the Rocky movies. It looked like the Rocky movies. Apollo Creed versus Rocky Balboa. That's what it looked like. Every jab, bam, 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 cross, uppercut, bam, 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 bam. And Ponzienza was moving. You see Rocky just standing straight. He moving side to side, but his head is snapping back as Apollo keeps jabbing him with the fucking piston like left hands. Ponzienza was jumping around, moving, shaking, spinning, dodging, and Roy was still tagging him. Tag, 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 tag. And there was one round where fucking Roy landed like 40 punches or some shit like, and Ponzienza ain't the one fucking punch. And that happened a few times in Roy's career, but people were so scared to throw a punch. They didn't throw or either didn't land. It's like I'm playing in defense, and he on the side. It's like I think it's the third or fourth round. He panting on the sideline. He like yo, or in the corner. He like yo, this motherfucker's too fast. I can't see the punches coming. I can't see him coming. I mean, he's moving. Watch the fucking film. He's moving. He's dipping. I mean, you would be happy with his movement. It looked like he carried out his game plan until he got in the ring and see how fast Roy Jones actually is. It's like you. Because when they train, they're like, all right, if you're a speed fighter and he's got unparalleled speed, like what George Foreman did, he trained and sparred with a light a lightweight, to mimic Muhammad Ali's speed and movement. So we have him jab at him, but really it was about moving from side to side, circling the ring, and Foreman would cut him off and cut him off and cut him off. And so Ali got wind that this was his technique, and he was pretty good at it. He was 24 years old, big man, and he could move. And so Foreman is beating the shit out of his motherfucking sparring partners because it's like, bro, you're not paying me enough. You say to move around. If he got me cornered to kind of paw on me, you look at the film, Foreman is laying into lightweights. That's how he got his head busted. I mean, that's just God, the way this shit worked out. He blasting his lightweights. And dude, no one is getting in the ring. You can't find heavyweights that's going to get in the ring with you. You want me to find a 135-pound motherfucker to get in the ring with you? And you keep laying into him, we got to pay him more. We ain't got no insurance. We in Africa. One punch from you, and we ain't got the right requisite hospitals. The motherfucker die. Nobody ever get in the sparring ring with you. Chill. And he kept pounding along. So the brother, protecting himself, just threw his elbows up. And Foreman came right in and slit his goddamn eye. And that postponed the fight and then threw everything off into the favor of Ali. You know what happened after that. But that's what he would do. He would just prepare for. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I mean. You got to get them. You got to get them history lessons, brother. You got to get them up in you. That's what That's what I'm here to do. Hopefully, the other channels, the big channels, will open up when we get the majority of the people. Yeah, you knock out a bull. that motherfucker can hit even Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield said that Foreman can hit harder than Tyson. He had fought both of them, and he fought an old Foreman. And Tyson, at his age, still, you know, he was done improving, Mike Tyson, but at his age, he was still relatively young, 20 years younger than George Foreman. So he fighting a 40-something-year-old George Foreman, and George Foreman is blasting because Evander Holyfield, he's actually a light heavy, just barely, or he was cruiserweight. I'm sorry, cruiserweight was just under heavyweight, fighting as a heavyweight champion at 200 pounds. Well, Foreman is 240 coming into these fights. And he toe to toe with George Foreman, face to face. I always have respect for Evander Holyfield. Blow for blow with George Foreman, right in his damn face, and beat him. Now, again, it was an old Foreman. Now, if he was 24 or 25, I don't know if he'd have did that. But they blasting each other. I mean, they blasting each other. Boom, boom. Because neither one of them moved their head. When they get hit, they want exchanges. Foreman always talked about that was his style. Get into exchange, knock a motherfucker out. He wanted to do with Ali. He said $10 million about to go to Africa. I'm gonna force Ali into an exchange. Knock him out. $10 million after three rounds. I'm good. I got respect for Muhammad Ali. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. It was perfect. Perfect. But like again, dealing with greatness again. And it'd be great to see a Roy Jones, Marvin Hagler, prime fight. You know, you do those computer fights and thoughts, and you're like, damn man, this would be a great fight. This would be a great matchup, like they did with Ali and Rocky Marciano. And the thing about that, they did a fake computerized bout of Ali and Rocky Marciano. This is during the time that Ali was out of boxing. The whole Vietnam thing was going on. They took his licenses, they took his title and all that. So 3 years, he was out. 3.5 years, he was out. And so that's when they approached him because that's how he make his money. So he doing all these different things, making money. And the thing is, he didn't saturate it. It was like this is investments for long term. Because those things he did back in those days, and people would pull him up, they worth 6 or 7 figures now, especially since he's dead. You know what I mean? But we don't have that business acumen. You know what I mean? Certain things he could be like, yo, take this film here, take this photo here, put this shit in the vault, nigga. Let it ride for like 30 years. Then sell a piece to if we need some bread, some liquid cash real quick. Sell this, sell that, I'll sign it, whatever, boom, boom, boom. We get a couple $1 million, we back in the game, but I still got a vault full of shit. You know what I'm saying? I got gloves, sparring gloves, I got motherfucking shoes and cleats. I ran around with Africa with the African dirt in it, all that shit. You vote all that shit, nigga. Draws, they got them 5 girls and hit the draws right here. and the juices is still there. Boom, put that in the phone. these, these, these white folks will buy that shit, bro. They will buy that shit. Wait a minute, it's the draws of when he fucked 5 women in one day. $2 million. So give some funky ass draws. Give my money. You stupid motherfucker. Give my money. He be wearing around. He wearing the raw draws around and shit with old cum stains. Messing with his wife and shit. Hey, honey, I got the Muhammad Ali draws on. Let's get it in. You know what I'm saying? But that's just that business acumen, uh, uh, that we lack. You know what I mean? And it'd been great to be able to do that. But again, like I said, um, the Marciano fake fight, because Marciano was still alive. And during that time, it was the undefeated champion, Muhammad Ali, versus the undefeated champion, Rocky Marciano. Remember, Ali was undefeated when his belt was taken. And people were comparing Ali versus old fighters. And Ali was like, dude, I done whipped them all. They're stationary. They move like slugs. I'm too fast. I'm too strong. I'm too quick. You can't compare me to them. It's a route. It's not even close. And Gus D'Amato, we had discussion with Rocky Marciano with his style would have defeated you. Clay, he would have picked off your filter. Come on, Gus. Gus, you don't really believe that. You supposed to. I get it. You white and he white, and you got. Okay. I get it. You got to have the argument and stuff like that. White folks are majority in the United States, so they're gonna go along with you because they on code. Okay, I got you. All right, we really know who whoop who's ass. So he said, all right, let's have a computerized fight. So they do a computerized fight, and he basically wins the fight like Rocky Balboa beat Apollo Creed. Body punches, go into the body, go into the body, go into the body, and Ali fell. And so they paid him I think like $500 to do that, to lose. But like he needed the money. You know what I'm saying? So he went along with it and everything. And they said, you're gonna lose. But because, really, certain situations was going on, you don't ever have your champ do nothing like that, go down to no fucking cracker like Rocky Marciano, especially since all the momentum. I think this was in '67 or something like that. So all the momentum we got with the Black liberation struggle and his stance against Vietnam, that the Vietnamese are whooping ass over there. Robert F. Williams is over there championing them. You know what I'm saying? They're like, soul brother, let's don't fight. No fight you. No fight you. We soul brother. We same. We same. They get the education. You know what I mean? Ali, don't do that shit, man. Ali, look, man. Look, I got you, bro. You good. And Joe Frazier did that actually. That's the fucked up thing about it. Joe Frazier was subsidizing comp Muhammad Ali during the time that he was broke. He ain't had nothing. And Joe Frazier, but this is Ali in his autobiography admitting this, that he had broke him off. He had recorded a conversation. It's shown a little bit in the Ali movie. And he like, yo, in the autobiography, he says, I recorded the conversation and it's being put in the book as it was per the tape. And Ali asked him for some money and he said, cool, I got you. But in the movie, he was like, nah, I'm good. I was like, oh, wait a minute. That's a lie. He took the money. It was the same conversation. Shout out to what's my man name? That did hold on. I gotta find this brother name. Old used up, yeah. Old used up soul. nigga, whatever, half eating pizza and shit, whatever. What the hell is his name? James Toney. James Toney was Joe Frazier in the movie Ali. And they did a reenactment of the ride of Philadelphia came to Philadelphia and Joe Frazier had picked him up and comped him and everything. That's why Joe was so pissed off when Ali was going in on him. It was like, bro, when everybody had turned their back on you, nigga, I was breaking you off. You know what I mean? Keep that, brother. Keep that. You my man. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is, and I appreciate the stance that you take in, and I'm backing you up here. And he called me Uncle Tom. I was like, hi, Mama, Uncle Tom. And I'm literally supporting the movement by putting money in your motherfucking pocket. And you talking about black power. That's how you do it. And these are the different relationships we gotta have. We gotta understand that, all right, if I'm out front chanting black power and bringing truth to the masses and speaking on shit that others are scared to speak on and calling out the establishment, they're gonna come after my money. So I need support anywhere I can get it. So that being said, let me go and run this. I'm exports. Mr. X, host of X Sports Revolutionaries. For monetary support, as I just said, you can cash app Mr. XR for support with my growing family, supporting the liberation movement, as pretty much all that I do is the movement, where it's political advisement, political education, raising youths, transporting black people here, there, and everywhere. Obviously, feeding my family and paying the rent and all that other stuff. And then the more we're able to garner, the more things we're able to do. Also, paying tithes and dues to my organization as we put on events, conscious events to awaken our people. So all of it circulates. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple uh, sisters who are business owners, and when I need certain goods, I go to them and purchase their goods and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, my anniversary is this weekend. So me and my wife gonna do some things, and I got a sister cooking us meals, so I'm gonna break her off. I was gonna take it to the Cheesecake Factory, and I'm like, you know what? Nah, my wife's a vegan. I'm gonna hit this sister up, have her make our meals, break her off, boom, keep it all the way black in the spirit of love and happiness, so that put that blessings on my anniversary, 6 years, 6 years still going strong and still making babies. Getting ready for brother Malcolm to come into the world this July. So I am what I say. So if you all are interested in supporting either Black Hot Fire Network or me personally, there's Cash App. Uh, uh, and I appreciate it, family who is listening live now or who's listening 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, whatever you decide to hit play on this show. So anyway, to go back, Joe Frazier, comping and subsidizing the movement, we know historically that people who we may not agree with publicly was behind the scenes subsidizing the liberation struggle. Russell, Nipsey Russell, the comedian, gave money to the Panthers for the free breakfast programs, but he said, "I'm not giving you this money for the guns, but for the free breakfast program." And he gave about $1,000. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, take this money for the guns, but it's not for the guns. I'm telling you, it's for the food, so that they can feed the children and buy some weapons when these crackers come down the line. You know what I mean? Because they bust down. They ain't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about black kids. Nigga, they'll shoot shit up with children in there. They don't give Gestapo tactics. They don't give a fuck. It's genocide. It's warfare. They go third war. They was going third war on us. You know what I mean? They burned women, children, and babies in Philly on the MOVE organization. They knew who was in there. They burned it down and made sure they went in there and died in the hail of flames. So that's the devil we dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So, Frazier like, yo, nigga, I broke you off. Like, what you saying? Like, I'm not breaking you off just so, you know what I'm saying? I believe in what you're doing. You feel me? But you better than I. Not everybody can be boisterous and shit like that with you. But I'm working with you on this level. Because you gotta worry, you gotta see when you down and out and the nigga got your back. When you down and out, I got the belt. I don't need you. They took the belt from you. I won the tournament. I got the belt. I don't need you. I ain't gotta give you a goddamn thing. It's my time. But I fucks with you heavy. Here, take this bread. And then Ali came back. And that's what really led to that blood feud. That's what really led to that blood feud. When Ali was out on his ass, it was Frazier that was breaking him off. And then when he got back right, this nigga let Frazier have it. He let Frazier have it. Every fight, 3 fights they fought, and every fight, that motherfucker was letting them have it. He like, God damn, man, you can't. This is the 3rd time we fight. You still doing this? Like, the first 2 fights, the Thriller in Manila, I mean, the 2 fights sold the 3 fight. The 3rd fight, nigga, we don't really need this banter and this bullshit. But they probably still fighting. It's probably It's probably Ali Frazier, 150 by now. You know what I'm saying? They around 2,000 right now. You know what I'm saying, in the nether realms. But back to the brother Marvin Hagler. Unfortunately, now we get to the controversy. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Um, we get to the controversy. Now, unfortunately, this brother, our great brother, was married to, as Sister Nish calls, a cave beast, right? Which is apropos, right? We're dealing with the producer of Evil, Becky, Samantha, Amanda. Speaking of which, I Ubered a dude that was named Amanda. I was like, man, duh. This is a corny joke. I think he changed his name to a man, duh. Oh man, who says LGBT ain't got no sense of humor? But anyway, damn man, as I'm getting older, I'll be slipping off and forget where the fuck I was going. Um, oh yeah. So he with this cave beast, right? And so Tommy Hitman Hearns a couple days ago tweeted that uh, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, and he wanted to be called Marvelous. I respect his soul and respect his spirit because as he was dominating, announcers would not call him Marvelous, so he changed his name to Marvelous Marvin Hagler. So you had to call him Marvelous. So I know some brothers who call themselves Minister and said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna legally change my name to Minister." So you have to call me Minister. Shout out to them. You taking ownership of your life and your name. God damn it, you want to call yourself Minister? You call yourself Minister. And he wanted to call himself Marvelous. So call yourself Marvelous. And he's marvelously with this white woman. And so Brother Marvelous apparently had taken this vaccine, as our brother Hank Aaron did. He took the vaccine and had a negative reaction to it and went to ICU. See, now Hearns said, yo, he just had some complications with the first COVID shot. This is common. He in ICU, but he gonna be all right. Now, no, nigga, you don't go to ICU and you don't say ICU, he gonna be all right in the same sentence. That's not, nigga, that's not, nah, that's like turning your ankle. He turned his ankle, or he got in a little car crash like Tiger Woods. So his leg is fucked up a little bit, but he gonna be all right. He gonna live. He may not be able to walk straight again, but he gonna live. Okay, the brother's still living. He's 66 years old. That's too early to die. But you said ICU, nigga. With COVID and ICU, that's like 100% fatality. That's not good at all. And so eventually, he dies. And so people are saying he dies. And this is what they do with celebrities. Chadwick Boseman, what do they say? Prostate cancer. He died. He lost his long battle with prostate cancer. He was struggling with it. He lost weight. He looked ill. He actually been battling it for 5 years. So he's done an enormous amount of movies while in pain with the prostate cancer. He literally, hold on, pause. I gotta stop. This shit is insurmountable. Okay, I'm good right now. Let's do the tape. That's how he was doing this shit. They let everybody know. Marvin Hagler dies, nothing. He dies at 66. Let's recognize the champ as the iconic boxer. Wait a minute. This is what they did to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson died. Michael Jackson, y'all, died, y'all. Let's celebrate his life, y'all. Mama say, Mama say, Mama Kusa. Mama say, Mama say. Wait a minute. Stop the fucking music. Wait a minute. How did he die? What the fuck are you talking about? He died. Who? When? What happened? Nah, niggas waiting for that. Nigga, Mama say, Mama say, Mama Kusa. Mama say, Mama say, Mama Kusa. I remember being in the club that night when he died. I cried like a motherfucker when he died. And then we went out that night and they was like, Mama say, Mama say, Mama Kusa. Mama say, Mama say, Mama Kusa. Nah, nigga, I want a thorough investigation. I want some CNN shit up in here. No, nigga, we talking. Fuck a club right now. I want to know why he died. Nigga, give me the backdrop right now. You don't do that to Michael Jackson. You don't do that. You don't deserve that. You don't do that. Then all the shit come out and you realize it was a hit. Years later, fucking damn near 20 years later, you find out that it was a fucking hit. That a faggot motherfucker made a move on him and come to find out Michael's not a faggot. He's a faggot. I like women. No, white boy, I don't want you. Get off me. I like women. It may not seem like it because I ain't ruled by sex. But no, I'm good. Back up on me. And he said, how dare you, you nigger, even though you're white. You tell the nigga, like, nah. so he like, yeah, no, you still black. So, you somewhat white. I'm in the passage, you nigga. You're supposed to bend over and let me, read you the 50 states. And so they went into destroying his life, they went destroying his life. And it's like Marvin died. We want some answers. Can we get some answers? And so Yeah, we're playing everywhere. Mama say, my mom was out. Mama say, Peter, Peter. They was doing everything. So it's Mammy and these brothers, man. You got access to the finest sisters in the world, and you the you middleweight boxing champion. And as his career, like his novelty increased, people, recognize your greatness after you retire. You know what I'm saying? You like, and then you recognize, damn, this motherfucker's really good. Well, let's sit back and look at his career. Damn. I mean, you damn. You know what I'm saying? Like he really didn't get the prestige that he deserved. And you fight a couple big fights. You want to have at least, if you were a iconic fighter and you fought 45, 50 fights, you want a good 5 fights that people can point to that's like, okay, you got Ali Foreman, you got the 3 major fights, you got his fight with Sonny Liston, you know what I'm saying? Hell, even Chuck Butler, you know what I mean? Just because that inspired the Rocky Balboa movies and shit. Who else? Ken Norton. Hell, even fought fucking Floyd Patterson. You know what I'm saying? But you got the big fights there. Then you got Holmes and you got Spinks. Holmes and Spinks twice. Then when he came back against Mike Tyson. So it's like you want them big name fights. So when people like, all right, greatest fights of all time, your name, if you had a 10, 12-year reign, you got to have these fights. So he had the Duran fight, he had the Hearns fight, and he had the Leonard fight. You had to fight these guys because they are a weight class under you and dominating at the same time you dominating. So we got to set this up. The world wants to see this. You got the hands of stone, Roberto Duran. Nigga, somebody got to fight this motherfucker. The dude don't speak no English. You know what I mean? Roberto Duran is in Harlem Nights, yo. Look at Harlem Nights. He said, "You want me to knock you outie?" And Richard Pryor's like, "No, knock you outie, Roberto. It's okay." That's it. That's it. That's his little pot. And I just realized that I seen this a couple months ago, and I said, "Oh shit, that's Roberto Duran." I never realized that was Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran is in Harlem Nights. This is, I think, after he beat Ray Leonard the first time, and he took off. And Hands of Stone was just enjoying his life. He was fucking everybody. He was eating big. Remember after he beat Leonard, he had gained like 35 pounds. That motherfucker was like, I'm just on top of the world. And for this next 6 months, I ain't doing shit. Kiss my ass. I'm in movies. I'm the man. Nigga, I can't speak no English. I'm in commercials, not speaking no English. But there's one line I know, and that's it. Kiss my ass, give me my money. I'm cool with it. So he fought Roberto Duran and after that rematch with Leonard. Roberto Duran started catching L's left and right. You know what I mean? But shout out to him. He kept trying to fight. He was like Margarito of this century. He was a guy that the people didn't want to fight. One, because he was plastering his hands. The nigga was doing all sorts of nutty shit that can cause major damage to you. Like you can ruin somebody's life. The Mexican fighters is crazy. That's ballroom bowling, as they call it in Creed. They'll plaster their hands, they get up in that fight and acting like they're hitting you with they actual gloves. Shit, motherfucker, they got wall plaster in their motherfucking gloves. They trying to kill your ass, and they going for the knockout. So once he got exposed with that, Margarito, his career pretty much was over with. He was pretty much done. Yeah, Harlem Nights, check it out. Harlem Nights. Uh, uh, it's in the beginning of the movie. You got to catch it. It's right when it goes from Eddie Murphy being a young boy and he shoot the Toothless dude. Then the next scene when they go 20 years later and he grown and everything. And shout out to Tommy Strong. Man, the creator be pleased with him. He enters the club and they all looking at him, and then Roberto come in like, want me knock him out? And he like, nah. And that was it. That's the only time you seen Roberto. Um, yeah, Marvin Hagler, again, going back to the situation. So uh, uh, His wife is like playing damage control, and she's saying, no, he did not take the COVID vaccine, or he did not die of the COVID vaccine. So she white. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we say don't fuck with these devils. And this is my conjecture. This is my conjecture on it. I said this. I said I was gonna speak on it earlier in the show. It's Export Sports Revolutionary. He's talking about Marvelous Marvin Hagler and his career and his life, and celebrating his great fights and his untimely death. Um, His wife is a member of the dominant society. She's always going to side with her people. I don't give a fuck how often she fucked you or how good she fucked you. I'm telling you from personal experience that has happened to me. They can still roll out of bed and be racist as shit. Like when I personally dealt with it, I marveled at the fact that you can be that fucking racist after I just tore your ass up. I mean, I tore your ass up. I put in work. You still racist? Niggas think we can fuck anything out of a woman, right? We can fuck the racism out of a woman. She ain't gonna be racist after I'm done with her. Let me get 2 hours. I was in there pumping for 2 hours. 2 hours later, she was still racist. There ain't enough pumps in the world to pump the racism out of white women. They're using you as sexual objects. They know once they have you, they can't go back any motherfucking way. White man can't follow that. And it's just like a stench on you of blackness that denotates that you've been with black men, and white men is like, I can tell your dress, your style, your moving, you fuck with black dudes. So there's literally black white women like that. Like I can tell them, I can see white women like, oh, she only fuck with black dudes. Not every now and then. No, she only fucks with black guys. And then I used to be like, you only fuck with black guys, huh? How you know? Well, it's just something I could tell. So when it comes time to show, hey, I'm a real progressive, a liberal thinking individual who supports the cause of liberation of black people, as my husband was black, so I can't be racist. So you have an opportunity to show that. Becky says, no, I came out of a womb of a white woman. My dad was a white man, and that nigga did not take no vaccine, and he didn't die of no vaccine. So you niggas keep taking vaccines. She could have blown the whole shit. My husband was killed by the vaccine. I'm so sad. Oh my God, it was me that told him to get the vaccine. They're killing black people, y'all. They're killing black. Becky's was coming on live. Shout out to those Becky's. When the whole COVID shit was hitting, and they was saying she was like, yo, they killing black people out here. Y'all get the shit. They ain't giving y'all nothing. They letting y'all die. Becky after Becky was airing them out, blowing the whistle. If you want to show you down, do shit like that. She had a golden opportunity. She blew it. Karen, Samantha, Becky, Stephanie will kill you, nigga. They will kill you. And so that's 2 greats that we have lost in the last few months to this vaccine. I believe he took the vaccine. I believe he died. That's my belief. Because every motherfucking celebrity was taking COVID vaccines, and the old motherfuckers they were just, man, I ain't been in the limelight in mad long. Charlie will call you, or sometimes niggas will call Charlie. Hey Charlie, say Charlie, this is Marvin. Marvin is Marvin. Marvin is Marvin Hagler, the middleweight champion. You know who I am. Oh Marvin, how you doing? Yeah, man, I see that you're getting celebrities here to take the vaccine. Listen, why you ain't call me? Oh, you want to take the vaccine? Yeah, I'll take the vaccine. What's wrong with you? I want to help the establishment. Man. I'm trying to get back in the eye of the people. The people need to know who Marvin Hagler is. So let's set it up. Get that shot, boy. Let's hook it up. And he go to the nearest urgent care or something like that. They got cameras. And he take a shot and dead the next motherfucking day. Quick question. Do you think it's a good idea for Africans to be moving to Canada for educational purposes? Now, it depends on what they're teaching over there in Canada. No matter where you go, if you're not learning the Black liberation theology, which is constructive thought, speech, and action for the global betterment of African people, then no. But if they are teaching that there, and black people are more allowed, because you're allowed in the system of white supremacy, as Dr. D. Fuller teaches us, and I know he's probably not a doctor, but I like to call him doctor, that he says that white folks allow us to do whatever in the system of white supremacy, which is a prison system. And if you're an inmate, the warden allows you to have a cell. He allows you to have free time. He allows you to have food and water and treats and the privileges and benefits and all that. Whatever you privileges and benefits you can get in a prison. Mike Tyson was getting conjugal visits. They had a black guard, quote unquote, that would go see Mike, so Mike can fuck her, so he can stay heterosexual in the prison where ain't no women. Where ain't no women. Look that up. Mike was getting ass in prison. She was going there and fucking a champ. Like, send the hoe over there. Send Josephine over there. We hire her for a particular purpose. So Mike don't go crazy. And whenever he get aggressive, just send her in there. He'll fuck the shit out of her. And he'll be fine. We don't want nobody hurting here. We damn sure don't want Mike Tyson get killed in prison. Not in this prison. We don't need that type of love. But anyway, to answer your question, brother, if it's an opportunity to go there, the real, like for instance, the real Uncle Tom, and I forget his actual name, but it's based off a real man who was like Bass Reeves, who not only freed his plantation, but I believe he beat down his slave master, then fled to the north, built up an army in Canada, and went and freed other slaves. So if you're going with that mindset and that apparatus is still there, the blood lineage of that Uncle Tom, and again I forget his actual name. If you're doing shit like that, then a portion of our people should go. I'm not really interested in every blind fleeing. I'm gonna tell you why. If a large percentage of us, because we did this in recorded history, people fleeing the South because the crackers in the early 1900s, mid 1900s, was killing black people indiscriminately, and motherfuckers was running. I talk about that with the Little family, and the fact that a portion of the Little family stayed in the South and protected their land with their one gun, and they fought off the Klan and shit, and they still got that land today. A lot of people bounced. They went up north. You know, we got a large Mississippi contingent here. And they're like, oh, we came up here to the north for better opportunities. You full of shit. Them crackers was killing y'all, and y'all ran up this motherfucker. Just tell the truth. It's cool. I get it. You know what I'm saying? The nights, the nights of the night, the nights of the night. The Klan and the Klan nights coming to you at night, burning crosses with shotguns, hanging people, burning people, and you felt you had to run. You had to do what you had to do. I get that. That's some real shit. I've never had that happen to me. I ain't gonna be a hypocrite and act like I was like, yeah, y'all ain't moving me. I'm gonna stay here. Get my Gatling gun. If I had a Gatling gun, yeah, I stay. I got 4 or 5 days of water and food with my Gatling gun, and any cracker come and mow them down, mow them down, mow them down. Eventually, they're gonna stop sending crackers. You can't send no more. You can't afford to send no more crackers. I'm gonna mow them all down. Leave me alone. Let me be. Like I said, some people did that. They took that shotgun, let out the warning shots. Like, listen, you can come in here and you get me, but not everybody leaving. I'm taking 4 or 5 with me. So who want to come with me? Y'all want to hang a nigga and just everybody just hang a motherfucker. You pick a nigga and hang a nigga and we all and I'm hung and y'all all living. You go back and eat a sandwich and all that. Fuck that. Some of y'all coming to the gallows with me. But in any case, to go back, if there's opportunity to learn tech information, high science, you talk about nation building science, purifying water, purifying air, infrastructure, creating vehicles with like the one brother in Africa had basically took the raw materials that were used and created a Tesla like vehicle and was flowing in that shit. That's the genius that we have. And so if you're able to operate like that more freely, then certainly a portion of us should go. But again, like I said, if a majority of us leave this continent, then you know others are going to stay. And then you know you have that discussion about racism getting worse. And it's like, how can it get worse? Well, it can't. They can be back on some antebellum shit. And so if the numbers get real low, a lot of our people are going to be in trouble. A lot of our people are going to be in trouble. And so, migrating, I look at it like this. What's the best course of action to fight against white supremacy? Where can you go where there's one, more black people than white, and they're progressive black people who will again allow you, because they could be meat puppets for white folks, hand puppets, cadavers, zombies, uh, um, avatars, neo-colonialists who are worse to you than whites are. So you go over there, you black power, they're like, oh, we don't do that over here. What you talking about this black power here? We're good Christians and we love white people. See that white Jesus right there? We done prayed for him and prayed to him for 50 years. And none of you niggas gonna come here with this red, black. Take that damn flag down. I'm tired of seeing that shit. If they doing that, then no, you can't go there. But if it's progressive and it's aggressive and you got contingencies there that will back you and take you in, because it's more about just education. It's just the environment. You can't really learn if you're in a hostile environment. It's hard here for our brothers and sisters, especially myself, with all that's going on, to kind of sit down and read and not have some turmoil and turbulence going on around you. So you can totally focus and relax. Some book writers go on vacations in the woods and shit, where it's solitude and you can just focus and you can rest, and then you can get up and you can read and think and not have chaos going on. So if you got those things, the atmosphere is, if it's there. I mean, Canada, you talking about cold. Niggas don't need no more cold. We need somewhere where it's warm and it's sunny and we can sunbathe. As my brother Keith and Zoe talk about almost every episode, we're able to do that, so we can download more data, and that leads to more creativity, and leads to more action, that leads to us producing things. And then once we produce those things, are we owners of them? Can we protect them? Can we protect what we create, and then can we sell it and get the most bang for our buck, and build infrastructure there? So if we can do those things in Canada, that's possible. Then certainly you can go. You said your parents want to send you there. Yeah, you just do a thorough analysis. I'll say one thing. My brother went there. My brother, my man Jerome Goodman. Shout out to my man Jerome, basketball. He went there, and he said it was some bad sisters there. He got an affinity for white women, but he would show me some pictures of some of the sisters that he would talk to here and there. Oh my god, whew, and they down. I hear they cooperate. You know what I'm saying? And so if look, you get you a sister, I tell sisters, get you a brother anywhere on the continent, anywhere in the world. If you got to get them, if you don't mess with the FBA, all the FBAs you running into are broke down and tore up, and we've been through the ringer. Then go to Canada, go to South America, you can find a brother some damn where. Go and find them. Panama, wherever. Get you a brother. You know what I'm saying? And we'll deal with the actual factuals, because he'll probably come in, I ain't black. And all right, nigga, come sit down, get this work, get this history lesson right quick, so you can get your mind right. But I'd rather that than the white alternative. You know what I mean? You can I think you work on certain individuals. If you're all the way coon, that's something different. Roland Martin ain't gonna be flipped. You ain't flipping Roland Martin, motherfucker. You ain't flipping them. But young cats who are just bereft of information, and you give them enough, they'll, you can flip them. Because I've been flipped. I was there, and I was in university, and I was screwing white women and all that shit. I'm open with that. And you can be at the bottom of the bottom, and then get that information, and you know how to move. And so, like I said, if it's got to be upgrade. You going to Canada because they want, like, your parents kind of like, I want to get you away from racism. Nah, we got to be honest. Can we send this motherfucker somewhere where he can best prepare to fight racism? All right, we're gonna send you here for 4 years. You're gonna train martial arts. You're gonna learn Swahili. You're gonna get tech skills. You're gonna get all these. You're gonna have options for all these things. That one, you can work for yourself. You know what I mean? You get all this different information. From learning how to make apps, video games, to changing the tire, from building a car, from nigga from flying a helicopter, nigga, or boats, whatever, fishing, all the things. You know what I'm saying? And learn that for 4 years. And so when you come back, you ready. You got that confidence. You got that consciousness. You know what I mean? If you in the town with 3,000 white folks and 10 black folks, nigga, you gonna import you a sister or get one of them sisters that's out of the 10. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have that type of frame of mind. You're gonna set up a UNIA chapter, Marcus Garvey, motherfucker, with crackers all around, but you got that type of training up in you and confidence up in you that you ready to fight these beasts. And we don't need no more martyrs, but if people are going to do it, then hey, I'm not gonna stop them. The fucking Asians got a whole kamikaze technique. Fuck that. Banzai! You know what I'm saying? Banzai! Motherfucker, banzai! Them terrorists, as Key and Peele say, when they took down them towers, nigga, they knew they wasn't coming back. They knew they wasn't coming back. With cracker help and everything. They're like, yo, we going up in this motherfucker. We going with a knife. We going with a knife and you know, a little blade. And we gonna make this shit happen. You hear me? so fuck that. You dig? And they did it. They did it. But again, that's an intact culture. Me and Keith talking about creating a religion of zealots. That's the only way you get. The only people get shit done is religious zealots. They get shit done. And the movement with us, we get infiltrated. Some crazy nigga or Japanese or whoever the fuck who's supposed to be a collaborator of ours come into our movement talking about, I know where to get guns and we can attack the State Department. Yeah, yeah. And they get in the car and on the way there, they get pulled over by police. They go to jail. They never see that nigga again. He on to the next one. Nah, bro. When you get your guns, like Malcolm used to say, because you get too big, they charge you with sedition and all these other fucking federal crimes and shit. And now they hanging on every word. So you got to be smooth with what you're saying. When you coming up, you can say whatever the fuck you want to say. But when you influence hundreds of thousands of people, now you got to be smooth with your words. So when Malcolm used to say stuff like that, when people have a thorough knowledge of self, they'll know what they do. They'll know what to do to get their freedom. That's all I gotta leave it there. You know, it's just like what's understood don't need to be said. Yo, that was the show, Mr. X Exports, Sports for Revolutionaries, Marvolous, Marvin, Hagler, RIP, my brother. Shouts out to you, shouts out to the family. Again, we need to do more investigating in terms of that vaccine and to get that vaccine. Shout out to anybody who wants to support Exports, Sports Revolutionaries, Cash App, Mr. XR, you know what I mean? To monetarily support the family, get your hand in my pocket crew. You know, we here and we trying to make some big changes in 2021. But you come here for your sports on a revolutionary perspective. You come here, baby, because we're going to deal with it. We're going to go all the way there. You can ask any question. We're going to deal with the information. We ain't like Stephen A. Smith. LeBron, take the vaccine. I can't believe that you would not take the vaccine. You didn't talk about that. You didn't articulate why you wouldn't take the vaccine or that you would take the vaccine. You're very irresponsible, LeBron. You're supposed to be the greatest, LeBron. Why don't you tell everybody to take a vaccine, LeBron? I'm Stephen A. Coon, and I took the vaccine in front of everybody. Fuck out of here. I hope your ass die. Why this nigga ain't have a motherfucking reaction and claps on motherfucking camera? That'd have been awesome. That'd have been awesome. Stephen A. Coon ass talking in the middle of his shit, start coughing and then collapse. Fuck that shit, man. I'm tired of these motherfucking coons undermining us and shit. Talking about, I'm from Philly, you moron. I am a black man. No, you're not. You from St. Croix, you motherfucking traitor. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Black Hot Fire Network. It's brother Mr. X. I'm back in the building. Thank you for supporting. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Share it, like it, love it. Hopefully, when we get the big channel back, we in there swimwear. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the gods. Peace to you, brother. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out.